So the Fuji XT2 is an amazing camera and an amazing travel camera. It was released almost 7 years ago, but it still holds up as an excellent camera, and it can still do the job and still competes with the XT3, XT4, and Fuji XT5. So the image quality is absolutely amazing. It's better than any cell phone camera, any iPhone, any Samsung, any Google Pixel. It's also better than any 1-inch camera, and it's also better than any Micro Four Thirds camera as far as image quality goes. I think the images here speak for themselves. Now these are all edited photos, but Fuji is also known for the great colors straight out of camera. So you don't actually have to edit the photos if you don't want to, but I strongly suggest that you do, because you can just boost the contrast and the color and do a lot of cool things in editing to get those photos to look the way you want them to. It's also extremely tiny. I can carry it with one hand, no problem. A lot of times I'll hold the camera out like this and just kind of shoot, use the mirror, use the back screen to shoot and to view my screen. And it works great. It's light, it's tiny. I can carry it with me the entire day. I can carry it up hikes. I can bring it on boats. I can walk around, the city with it, and it's no problem. And when I'm traveling, I don't want to look like I'm carrying a big camera bag, so the fact that I can fit it in this little bag is awesome. It's affordable. It's a very affordable camera. Because this camera came out so long ago, and there's now an XT3, XT4, and XT5 version. People are trying to sell this camera, and I bought this camera many years ago, but you can buy it now with the lens for about $800 Canadian. I have a 35 f2 lens on here that I used for my entire trip, and $800, you can probably even talk people down depending on the usage and the wear and tear of the camera. It also takes great video. I shot a wedding video 3 years ago on it, and when I was on my trip to Colombia, Mexico, I took little videos here and there just to kind of take memories and little shots here and there that I could use, and I actually ended up with a kind of a cool little 2-minute video from it. I love the colors out of camera. I didn't do pretty much no editing. I didn't shoot in log. It does have an 8-bit format, video format, but I really thought that was just fine. When I'm traveling, my mindset is just to kind of take shots and take little videos for the memory, just to kind of record where I am or who I'm with. It's not so much about the most epic quality you can possibly find. So I mentioned this lens before, but it's a 35mm f2 lens, and it's really tiny, really small. It's actually the XC version, so the image quality is the same as the XF version for Fuji. It's just lighter, it's smaller, it's made of plastic. So the 35 f2 equals a 50mm equivalent, and you can kind of shoot a little bit of everything with the 50mm equivalent. The f2 allows you to use it at nighttime for some shots, and you can use it for depth of field portraits if you want. You can also use it for like landscapes and general city photography. Obviously, being a no zoom lens, you're not going to quite get the length you want, but you are going to get the depth of field, and for me, I love that look. I just want to capture images of places that I've been, people that I've been with, and have a nice quality image that I can look back on and smile, and kind of brings me back to that old time that I was there. The camera really is for people who want to travel to maybe a bit of a dangerous place. Mexico, Colombia. Obviously those places are beautiful, and they're mostly safe, and they're a lot of fun, of course, but people always warned me about possibly being robbed if I was going to carry my big, bulky, full-frame camera and lens. So I think it's perfect for people, photographers, or people in general who want to travel and not be you want to be more conspicuous. It's small, it's light, it's tiny, I don't look like a professional photographer or that I'm taking any sort of good quality photos because the camera is so tiny and small. And it's also for beginners because of the mirrorless format. It's got pretty good everything, pretty good video, pretty good autofocus. It's tiny, it's small. You can really learn on this camera. When I first had it in about about 4 years ago now, maybe 5 years ago now actually, I used it every day for maybe like 9 months before I bought a full frame camera. And I learned so much about composition and about lighting, and it's a perfect beginner's camera. So if you're traveling to like maybe a bit of a dangerous place and you want to bring something kind of small and compact, get the XT2. And if you want to like learn photography, I think it's a wonderful camera to learn on. Fuji is such a fun little camera to use. I mean, I love the camera because of the dials. I mean, the dials are so fun to use and play around with. If you have a little bit of a budget and you want to learn photography, buy the Fuji XT2 or don't. I don't really care. I'm not making any money off this. I just generally recommend it because I've used it for so much and I love the quality that I get from this camera.